So, turns out Delirious was another alt account. This time, he was the SUSANSTORM account. Yikes, this isn't good for Delirious. Hello everyone, TJV here, and today we have a lot to catch up with. We're talking about the Ohm versus Delirious civil lawsuit, Ohm going after Delirious, and if you have not been caught up on any of this, I made several other videos for you to go check out, so make sure to go and check them out. If not, I will try to explain the best that I can what is going on here, and there is quite a bit of information to share here. But first, make sure to go down in the description below and join the Discord so you can join in on the conversation. I have a chat for it. We're also eventually going to be doing giveaways here soon, so look out for that. So I'm going to bring up the first one, the first big piece of information, I would say, involving BasicallyIDoWrk, aka Marcel, and Delirious. And pretty much what happened here was that Delirious put out a tweet longer saying that he had this very naughty Skype call, but it was a prank set up by his friends, and Marcel came out and said, hey, yes, I was involved in that, gave a little bit of information on his side of the whole thing, and then saying that, hey, I apologized over and over again to Delirious over the years, and if he doesn't want to forgive me, that's fine, but I did try to apologize to him multiple times, and it was wrong of me to set up the prank. And pretty much the prank was to show Delirious' face. They want to see what his face looked like at the time. Wildcat went out and made tweets about it way back when, and etc., etc. Well, Delirious and his attorneys brought it up, because again, it's probably one of the focal points that Ohm or Delirious wants to bring up or whatever. And the way Delirious and his attorneys bring up is very different from how Marcel brought it up. And this is kind of the different part. It's not about the girl necessarily. It's not necessarily about what the prank was. It was just why? What was the reasoning why it was done or whatever. Marcel is sitting here saying with these tweets saying, hey, it was never supposed to be sexual or naughty or anything like that. It was just to show his face. That's it. There was never me sending the girl in to go do anything bad or naughty. That was not the thing. But Delirious attorneys, Toy covered this about 10 days ago. This is the counter-sue document that Delirious put out against Ohm. Delirious attorneys sit here and say the point of the prank was to basically to trick the counterclaimant into engaging in sexual charge conversation with the woman who was in on the prank for the purposes of secretly audio recording the conversation to embarrass the counterclaimant at a later time. When, again, this wasn't really the goal. The goal wasn't to record it and then we can play it later and embarrass him. BasicallyIDoWrk says it was just to show his face. It wasn't to record the audio and have them be doing that naughty stuff and for us to listen to it later. So again, two completely different stories to people that, you would assume be on the same side. A lot of people thought, okay, the Van Us crew are supporting Delirious, they're playing with Delirious still, and Ohm's been having a big issue with the Van Us crew still playing with Delirious and not separating from him. So you would think that BasicallyIDoWrk and Delirious would be on the same page on this, but information's kind of different. Again, BasicallyIDoWrk released that information back when the Drama Alert video was out, and this was a lot newer, so maybe from Delirious' point of view, that's why they did it, is to embarrass him, to record it and embarrass him of that one time. But BasicallyIDoWrk said that that was never the goal of it at all. I mean, it happened, but it was never really the goal. That was not the purpose of the prank. The prank was to reveal Delirious' face. So, again, kind of a little bit of a difference. Had somebody point this out to me, and thank you for pointing it out to me so I can just cover that there are going to be some small things here and there that even us viewers can see that, hey, maybe there's a little bit of a flaw there or whatever. Whether or not Ohm's attorneys are going to pick that up to try to change that or counter that, I have no idea. I don't know how big and important it is to have the case continue forward, but maybe they will. Who knows? Regardless, though, the most recent document that Toy covered back on February 3rd, so about 5 days ago from today, this document is a lot of Delirious pretty much saying, hey, I was on alt accounts with basically no followers, and yes, I shared around maybe the Kiwi Farms link or his face or his name or whatever. Yes, I did all this harassing and, slight doxing or whatever you want to call it, but I had no followers. There's actual YouTube videos and content creators out there who do show the Kiwi Farms link and all this other stuff, and if you don't know the Kiwi Farms link, that's just, I'm not going to get into it, but it's pretty much a site that, is known to, go after Ohm and spread any information, private or not, about Ohm. Not a good website, and I don't recommend anybody going there, obviously. But this document is Delirious and his attorney submitting, saying, hey, we are on, Delirious was on 0 follower accounts. He did not spread it to millions of people. Delirious' attempt to sit here and, like, spread it around wasn't a success or anything. It failed, so you can't really tell that Delirious was spreading that around to millions of people or whatever. Which, again, yes, Delirious is right, but we kind of already knew it was on alt accounts that we never really heard of, because when I found out that all these alt accounts were Delirious, I was shocked, because these alt accounts never got any traction. It never really got that big, and Toy pointed this out too, saying, hey, yeah, the alt accounts didn't do nothing though overall, but it kind of does show that maybe Delirious had intent to do that though, and any little slip up Delirious might have had, whether it was on his main account or on an alt account, shows more of an argument, well, of two things. One, of morality, like, do you think it was morally right for him to do that or not? Obviously not. I think everyone would agree on that. But two, will a court end up seeing that and say, well, you clearly had the intent and you were trying to do it, so we're going to continue this to see any further evidence of you actually doing this? Again, I don't know, but it's kind of smart of Delirious and his attorneys to bring this up and say, hey, the accounts that Delirious were spreading information, harassing, and doxing Ohm on had 0 followers, barely any traction. They never picked up. No big content creators really made videos on it or whatever. And all these other incidents of, like, a random YouTube account or another Twitter account or somebody else saying this or that got more traction than Delirious and his alt accounts ever did. I mean, it's smart of Delirious attorneys to put that out there, but whether it will matter or not will based on what the court ends up thinking of it. And then, finally, the last piece of information, and I think this is kind of the biggest one. Delirious is Susan Storm. I don't know how. I don't know if Toy covered this or not, but it's a big shocker to me because I got emails from this alt account, and this SUSANSTORM455 at yahoo.com was a big email account come out, especially back the year that the whole drama alert thing came out and blah, 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 blah. It was in the year 2021 when it happened, but it was later in, like, late summer, fall area, August, September time. This SUSANSTORM455 at yahoo.com was spreading around information about Ohm and sent it to some big content creators. And even, I say big, but big in terms of, like, how big the drama was and how many views people were getting at the time. But they sent it to me, and I think I made a video on it at one point, so it was successful. Delirious' attempt to have an alt account spread information to somebody else to have a video made out of it was successful. So, again, I don't know if this throws a wrench and everything, but defendant admits the allegation in paragraph 49 to the complaint, in that on September 2nd, 2021, the defendant emailed several popular YouTube drama channels from SUSANSTORM455 at yahoo.com in response to drama videos being put out about defendant by those same drama channels based on false accusations being spread online about defendant by plaintiff. And defendant admits to the allegations in paragraph 49A to 49C to the extent that the quoted language consists of several edited portions of the defendant's email. The defendant denies the remainder of the allegations, but the remainder of the allegations don't really matter because he admits to having the email account, so anything that I pull up for the email from that email account is Delirious for sure. And sorry if I'm, like, super white and whatever, I'm sitting pretty close to the monitor or whatever, but the SUSANSTORM455 at yahoo.com sent me this email saying, I'm not into drama, please don't mention me. I also don't like people who start drama, lie, and take accusations that were once on themselves and try to pin it on others years later for revenge to try to ruin their lives. So again, this is obviously a jab towards Ohm, but this is the hidden information about Ohm, found racist and underage revenge. Yeah, I'm not into drama. Clearly, Delirious is into drama. That's a lie. Please don't mention me. You're using a fake account, lying about who you are. Okay. I also don't like people who start drama when this is literally starting drama. Again, I don't want to have to be against Delirious. And I hope that all people, even Delirious fans, I hope that everybody can admit that, like, this is not good for Delirious. Him admitting to the Susan Storm account is not good. Not good by any means. And I do really, 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 really think that everyone should be able to point out that, like, him sending an email like that to me, but also not to me, but to other people. I think Chilled Venom and somebody else also got, it was many commentary channels who got that email. And that's not the only email I got. There's more emails than that being sent as well. And for us to make videos about it, thinking, okay, this is somebody actually who did a lot of research and stuff like that. We can go back, we can look at all these sources and everything they're citing, which some of that might be real and true and all that. But to spread around a lot of that information and stuff like that behind an alt account, but then to say that they don't want to be mentioned and that they just don't like drama and all that, clearly it's the exact opposite. And that's what I thought about it at the time anyways. But when I was having that sent to me and everything like that, it was really trying to push a narrative. It wasn't somebody just doing research trying to send it. And now it's kind of obvious that it was Delirious, and obviously Delirious just wants to go after Ohm for what he feels like Ohm is going after Delirious' life to ruin his life. Now, again, a lot of what Ohm has put out there has kind of went the way of ruining Delirious' life. I mean, his life is doing YouTube. It has been for over a decade now. Now, whether or not they're able to settle it in the civil lawsuit and both of them can still do YouTube and still do that, that's all for the future, and we will find that out in the future. But to have all these things done, Delirious has screwed up big time. Just like how everyone thinks Ohm has screwed up big time. And the sooner that everyone can kind of just point out, okay, yeah, they both made some mistakes, we can all get closer to being on the same page and having a real discussion about this on, okay, how will the civil case actually go? Because right now, with the omission of being the Susan Storm account and all the emails that was sent from that account, which, again, I didn't think Delirious was the Susan Storm account when I heard it from Ohm, but it turns out it is true. Delirious is the Susan Storm account. And that's it. That's all I really got to share with you guys today. There is more information like in the document, but if I covered it, it would just be really repetitive. Everything that I covered in this video is pretty much a nice summary, a nice basis on it. But if you don't want to trust me, you can always hop over to Toy Bounty Hunter's stream and read the entire document for yourself. If there's anything else you want me to cover, make sure to comment that down below. Make sure to go in the description below and join the Discord. You're able to DM me if you would like to DM me any other information, any questions, any ideas, etc., etc. You're more than welcome to do that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys all next time. Peace.